Done, I'm not ready, but I'm ready. All right, Matthew chapter 5, verse 8, it's, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." This is one also that up until now, every time I've read it, I've either read or understood it wrong as well. It seems like it would be a real simple one. Now, to me, when I've read, "Blessed are the pure heart, for they will see God," tells me that, well, if my heart is pure, that means I've got everything right. I'm clean, I'm forgiven, I'm pure, so I get to see God in the end. What's y'all's thoughts on when y'all have read it before, up until now? How have you taken it when you've read this verse? Blessed are the pure heart, for they will see God. Now, I gave a little bit of it away last week, but I mean, prior to studying this, have you ever read this verse and just thought to yourself, well, I know what this means. It is the pure of heart, and the last part of it, and by doing that, I get to go see God. Okay. Now, this is different than verse 6 completely, and that's what I didn't see. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. It's completely different than 6 where it speaks about righteousness. This isn't meaning that my heart is completely right and that in the end I'm going to get to see God. That's not what it boils down to. Pure in heart means that right now, in my heart, I see God now in every situation in this world. Anything that arises, anything that happens to me, anything that happens to my family, even the good things and the bad things, the storms, the plagues, tornadoes, sicknesses, death. Right now, if I am pure in heart, when I see these situations, I don't see the situation itself, and I don't see the people that's either causing or in this situation. I'm seeing God right now, is what I see. Purity of the heart means I see God in all circumstances. Whether or not I think it's something good or bad for me, I still see God. And like I mentioned last week, this is the absolute best way to look at this that I've ever seen. Like when Judas came to betray Jesus. Now, to me and everybody I've ever asked, that seems like it was the very worst thing that has ever happened that's been recorded in the Bible. That was the worst sin, the worst letdown, the worst thing that you could ever do was to, now I know we still do it, but what we've read, literally betray your Lord and Savior, and His death end up because of you. I believe that's what. Yes, I mean I think it would have eventually happened in a certain way. If Judas hadn't did what he was supposed to do, somebody else would have, because it did have to happen. But when it happened, when Judas came to him that night, and they were supposed to identify him by kissing him on the cheek. When he did that, what did Jesus say? Jesus said in that situation, "The cup which my Father has given me, shall I not drink it?" Now that's plain as can be right there. Now we need to put ourselves in these situations. Say each one of us sitting in here tonight, somebody, whether it be Christian, evil person, in any situation tomorrow brings you calamity. Somebody brings you something that you just see is awful. I cannot believe they've done this to me. Now, first and foremost, we say we don't get angry or upset, to the point like we used to before we became Christian. But the very first person that's blamed for that situation and what's happening to you is the person that brought it to you. The person that's doing it to you. That person did this to me. Now, if you've been just like the man got his ear cut off, because I honestly believe Peter was just a bad aim, and he was going to cut Judas's head off for doing it, and he missed. I mean, that's the way I've thought of it. Now, if you've been in there with Jesus and this had happened to him, because we know how they all felt about the situation. They told him it wasn't going to happen. Jesus, you ain't going to die. We ain't going to allow it. It's not going to happen. So a man comes up and turns your Lord and Savior in for this, and they take him away. Who do you see in this circumstance? What caused this? Who did it come from? Who's getting the blame? Judas? If it wasn't for Judas, this wouldn't have happened. I mean, if somebody came in here and took one of us, if it wasn't for that person, that wouldn't have happened, right? It just wouldn't have happened. And everything in our life, every situation that we've ever been put in that we see as something bad in our life that we have got to go through struggle now, we've got to go through heartache, we've got to go through learning, and we're mad at people and we're angry at people and blaming people. And more than likely what's happening is God has just set us up for what we prayed last week for Him to help us learn. Now, are you going to get mad at God? Anybody here, no matter what happens, are you going to get mad at God if you know God's the one that gave this to you? Earlier today, I wanted to say, I don't know why I did, but over the past few weeks, I've heard so many people that are angry at God for the situations that they're in right now. These are Christians that believe, but they're angry at Him for putting them through what they're going through, for taking their loved ones especially. I've heard that a whole lot in the past couple weeks. I didn't do nothing to deserve God to do this to my family. Those type of situations. Now, like I said, who gave Jesus the cup? Who betrayed Jesus? But the way that we're going to have to start looking at it, pure of heart here, the pure of heart person that sees God. Judas was just the mailman that delivered the letter in this situation. Because Jesus said Himself who it came from. This cup that came from my Father, shall I not drink it? The worst situation that we've ever heard of, the man that was pure in heart in this situation, seen, this came from God. No matter what this man did to me, this came from my Father. Pure in heart. You see kind of where I'm getting at now? The pure in heart, no matter what comes at you, you see God in the situation. And when you see God in the situation, you don't get angry. You don't get mad. You don't get hurt. You don't shun the people that deliver a message from your Father. So we always look at Judas as being the one that caused the betrayal of Jesus, just in the same way we look at people involved in our situations every time something bad happens to us in one of our lives. So why is it that we can't look at the evil and the other people do to us this way, even Judas, when someone betrays us or hurts us, why can't we say, this person was just the mailman who brought it to me? He was just doing what God willed him to do. Now that doesn't mean this is a Christian person that done this to you. It doesn't mean that he just used two Christians to cause a calamity to teach you something. Because don't we all know first and foremost that whatever's meant for evil, God will use for His good. It's always been like that. So, to prepare us for these situations, it's a very simple thing to ask ourselves. Do we get mad at the mailman when he brings something from someone that looks to cause a hindrance in your life? When you get a letter out of the mailbox or he hands it to you and it's something that you just don't want and just wish never happened, do you get mad at the mailman for bringing it to you? You get mad at the mailman for bringing you a bill from a company. That's honest. And you know these situations where we get put into where it's something God tells us to do and you don't want to do it. Even a sermon you don't want to give. This is going to hurt somebody's feelings. I don't want to do it. Why? Because I don't want them to get mad at me. Now, has anybody here ever said, I'm just the messenger? When you had to go tell somebody something. Don't get mad at me, I'm just the messenger. You know, because if we really are children of God, nobody can do anything to you that God does not allow. There is nothing that could come into your life right now if God forbid it. If He said no. If He says, you can't touch my child. The last thing that came into your life that hurt you, that you may not even see yet, the beneficiaries of it, benefactors of it, excuse me. If you don't see where God is leading you and strengthening you and teaching you and maybe answering that prayer you asked for, help me with this. Well, God has given us instruction to help us with everything, but we still ask, God, please just, change me, Lord. Did we say that today? Lord, change me. Well, I've given you my word and that's not done it yet, so I'm going to have to hurt you. If I don't hurt, I can tell anybody anything and it can go in one ear and out the other. It happens with all of us. But if I tell you something in a way that makes you mad towards me, you'll never forget it. Things that come into us in life, we asked for. And not only asked for, it was the only way we was going to take notice and learn. It's just, there's a person in between us and God most of the time that is causing us to be in a position in life we don't want to be in. And we're just automatically, that person's bad. That person shouldn't have did that. I'm never going to trust him again. They shouldn't have said that to me. That was rude. I deserve more respect than that. We've got quiet. Every single thing then, as we said, nobody or nothing in this world can do anything to you that God does not allow. Should let us see that no matter what is happening to us, it's either for our own benefit or for the benefit of God's kingdom, period. If He allowed it in your life, it can't be to hinder you. It can't be to hinder His kingdom if He allowed it to happen to you. Pure of heart sees God. Say you get into a situation even where somebody promises to do something for you. We've all been there. And they don't do it. Say you lose a lot of money dealing with someone who promised to get you a lot of money if you would just give it to them or put them in a situation or give them a loan. And the outcome in your life goes way wrong. That outcome comes from God. It doesn't come from man. God decides what's best for His children. He is not going to allow His children to become spoiled. All these situations that most of us have put ourselves in life, let's just say when it comes to money. And we've had a great loss from it. We didn't benefit like we thought we were going to benefit. God will never allow one of His children to be spoiled, because being spoiled is a divider between you and Him. Being too comfortable, getting what you want. That money was going to send you into a direction that was not the direction that God has for your life at this moment. But it's just the worst thing that's ever happened to us, and the devil caused it because I lost everything. That's the way we see it. Every bad thing that happens in our life, and those weeks where everything goes wrong, it does go straight to our mind, the devil's attacking me. It's not necessarily the devil attacking you if somebody, the Lord, is keeping you going down from a path that may not be bad this week, but every path we took 30 years ago led to us being here tonight. Now, when we see that we're going to benefit something big, do we pray about it? God must have sent this to me because this is great. This is really going to benefit my life and make things easier for me. I'm going to take that path. And then I lose it. The devil. It was the devil. In our minds, it was always the devil. So, in those situations, let me paraphrase it. In every situation, the pure of heart will see God. So how many of our situations do we see the devil? Now, in a bad calamity that comes on you or your family, is not the first thing you see is the devil. We don't see God in it because it's bad. God wouldn't do this to me. God wouldn't do something bad to me for my own benefit. Devil's got to be doing it. So if the pure in heart see God, what kind of heart sees the devil in it all the time? Do you believe then that God controls 100% what happens to His children? You're a child of His, not a child of the world, not a child of the devil. Do you really believe that God is in control? And He's in control for your benefit. And we have to stop and ask ourselves these simple little questions that we should be able to just say, yes, I know the answer to, but if you don't feel it, don't say it. Do you believe God is in control of your life right now? If you're His. Now we're talking about truly. If you're a child, a son of God, is He in control of every aspect of my life? Not just what I consider good. So, when something goes the opposite way that you think it should, are you going to get mad at God for it? He controls it. Nobody here is going to say that they would get mad at God for something that happens, no matter how bad, if they know it come from Him. So then, why do you get mad at the person who delivers it to you if you know it come from Him? And we got to remember this. It come from Him, and God will not allow anything to happen to me that He doesn't want in His will to happen to me. How could I ever get mad at anybody that brought something to me? Now it can get hairy because there's going to be a lot of people that's going to say, well, I just don't believe the stuff that's happening to me in my life is coming from the Lord. And at that point, you need to ask yourself, are you a son of God? Because, again, for the 5th time, the Lord will not allow anything to happen to you that's against His will if you're His. We're usually completely blind to God's true will for our own lives. And sometimes we're even blinded to the purpose. Or as wholehearted Christians, whereas wholehearted Christians should want to move in the will of God every day of their life, and like I said a while ago, how does He usually have to make these things happen? The last thing that you prayed for God to help you, in all honesty, what did He have to do to make it happen? We either had to see a billboard blinking with the exact words from Him, or He had to say, look, you're not going to listen to me then, so if it's going to happen, I'm going to have to do this. And then it was the devil attacked me this week. A person who sees God in every situation will never be disturbed. Now listen, I said every situation. This is not something, okay, now I realize that the pure heart sees God. I want to be pure heart. It's done. This, I'm talking when you're strong enough, when the Holy Spirit's helped you. A person who sees God in every situation will then never be disturbed, angry, anxious, downhearted. He will never be any of those things due to what he sees, because what he sees is God working for the greater good in the end. As a Christian, knowing you're one and knowing you're trying to be pure of heart, that just rids your life of half of everything that's bad. The anger, the anxiety, the frustration, all this stuff that we have towards people and situations, it came from God for your greater good. It come from God. And now I'm going to get mad about it. I just wanted Him to make me a better person, not cause something to where I had to learn to be one. If we see someone other than God making things happen in my life, I have to say, my heart is not pure. If whatever's going on in my life right now, I don't see God in it, that tells me my heart is not pure then. Or I'm not really His. You know, when I see something or something happens to me and it's just, I feel like it's bad and it's a hindrance on my life and I don't see God in it, it tells me in that circumstances that my heart is interested in some gain or profit for myself. And yeah. And that's why I have a problem with what's happening to me. I have a problem with what's happening to me right now, whether God sent it or not, because I'm losing something that I wanted in my life. It's going to make me not get it. What I was wanting, and that makes me mad. I'm not getting what I expected, what I wanted, the life that I thought I deserved, the profit I thought I needed to get, the job I thought I needed to get, the car that I wanted, the house I wanted. This world has just turned against me and just yanked the rug out from under me, and now I'm not getting what I wanted. I am not seeing God in that situation. I'm seeing the world and the devil is taking away from me what I thought I deserved. Not God taking the things out of my path that was going to, like I said a while ago, it was going to, what was the word? I done lost it. Spoil me. He's not letting me have these things that were going to spoil me and send me down a road that eventually led me to somewhere where I'm even worse off, and now I'm just on my knees begging God to change it again. The only time that any of us get mad is when we don't get in the situation what we thought it should be. When somebody doesn't talk to me the way I thought they should be talking to me. When they don't say what I thought they should have said about me. When they don't thank me the way I thought they should have thanked me. And we don't see God in it. It's not a pure heart. So, let's look at it this way. We are the bride of Christ, right? Jesus is the groom, right? There's a letter delivered to you from your future husband because, as I said it earlier in the day, the groom is not a husband. And the bride is not a wife. Yet. You're not husband and wife until it's consummated. It hasn't happened yet. We are the bride of Christ, and one day we will be the wife of Christ. So like I was saying, let's say a letter is delivered from your future husband. I done messed up on this too. And the letter that has been sent to us, basically from our husband, is that when this life is over, we have a mansion built for ourselves. We have a husband who is the most powerful. He has anything. He has all means to give us everything. We'll walk on streets of gold. We'll be healed. We'll have new bodies. I have a mansion that's just for me. I have all this stuff just for me, waiting for me. Correct? So we have to ask ourselves then, I used to be concerned with heaven. I used to want to learn about it. I wanted to see what it was like. I used to want to make sure that's where I went. And it's taken a big part out of all of our lives and thinking. So we ask ourselves, is what we are concerned with, or this woman, she says all this, my husband, he's built me a great mansion. You know, I was poor, but now when I get married, my husband's going to give me everything. So in this situation, are we concerned with the love we have for our husband or the things that we're expecting from our husband? Because this is one of those situations that God's controlling now. You know, most Christians are waiting for the time they get to go to heaven. That's what they're looking forward to. Like I said, the perfect body, healed, streets of gold, a mansion just for me to live in perfection for eternity. You know, he's built me a mansion in the best neighborhood, hasn't he? You get that? I'm looking forward to living like that for the rest of my life, the rest of eternity. I was a very poor person, but now I have all this coming to me. You know, it's like that's the kind of stuff that we're all looking forward to. If you heard a woman that was getting ready to marry a man, she was the bride, he was the groom, and you asked her what she was looking forward to, and she told you all the things that she would have soon. Does that sound like she loves her husband? What if she found out that all he could provide for her was a hut, and an uncomfortable life? Do you think she'd be disappointed then? You know, we're supposed to be the bride of Christ. And a real bride would say, I don't care if my husband, what he can give for me or what he can do for me. I love him and I want to be with him. That's all that matters. Every one of us in here has heard this before. If Jesus wasn't in heaven, would you still want to go? And I'm not asking for the right answer. I'm asking for honesty. If Jesus was not in heaven, would you still want to go? If Jesus was living in the wilderness like we've seen so many in the Bible do, would you want to be with him, or would you still want to go to heaven to get all these things you've always wanted? All this stuff you're waiting for? I've even been asked before, if Jesus was in hell, would you go there to be with him instead of wanting to go to heaven? A bride that loved her husband more than anything would go anywhere he was, no matter the situation. She would love her husband no matter the situation. And that goes right back to the pure heart. No matter the situation that we ever get put to here on this earth, I should just love my Father. I know now that my Father has sent this to me because I'm a child of His. So where can anger and disappointment and hatred come into this situation now? No matter what anybody does to you in your life, how can that stuff come in now? If it does, it's still selfishness, isn't it? It's just what I want. It's what I want. The pure heart will see God. I will see God is in everything, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how bad it feels, and He loves me. Everything that He has sent my way is for my own good and the good of God's kingdom. And since I love only Him, your husband, our future, since I love only Him, I see only Him. My heart is pure for Him. I see only Him. And that's what matters. A pure heart will see only God in any situation. Next week, our verse will be 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. And I noticed in certain translations when studying this, it's about a 50-50. It says instead of we'll be the children of God, we will be the sons of God. And that's something we're going to learn the difference in, is the children and the sons of God next week along with that. So seriously, please meditate this week on reading up on that. And I want y'all to go as far as you can into finding out the difference between a child of God and a son of God. So in this now that we've heard today, has it changed your outlook any on your life, any on the things that happen, any on the situations that arise? And it puts a big burden on us. It really does. Because knowing this and claiming to be a child of Christ tomorrow, no matter what situation I go into, no matter how bad it is, the way I react to this situation is going to define what I answer today, whether it's really true about me or not. Do I see God in every situation? Because I think what it's boiled down to in these later years is we see God in every good situation. Now, don't you think this would help explain to a lot of people, why is this happening to me? This is happening to you for your own good. It was the only way, really, and if it wasn't the only way, do you really think God would have put you through it? You know it hurts Him to put you through pain. You know it hurts Him to put these situations on you. And if there was any other way, He wouldn't do it. But like I said, I just thought this was going to be a really important one for us from this day forward throughout the rest of our life. That's just like if it was storming outside right now and we open the door and there's a tornado coming at us. I see God. If I see God, I have a pure heart and I'm at peace. I'm not scared now. You know why? Because God will not allow anything to happen to His child that is not in His will. We can lose anxiety, we can gain peace, we can lose anger and hate for the rest of our life out of one verse that's like 10 words long. From now on, I see God. And that's all I see. That's all I see is God. So that's the meaning that's what I got. Anybody got any comments or anything that they want to situate